Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the You Get to Decide podcast. I am your host, Allison Gallagher, and I am super grateful that you're here. No matter where you're chiming in from, I'm always happy to and honored to share my wisdom of what I've learned, what I've undid in my life, so I can turn and help someone else. And because you show up, I get to offer that. So thank you. And this is a special one because this is being released on Christmas Eve, December 24th. We celebrate Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all of you if you're listening in real time. But this is a special one because I want to help really dismantle this idea that rushing is how we get things done and this avoidance of true rest. And I think there's like a fear of rest. There is this we have to earn rest. And I really want to dismantle that in this episode to share my journey with rest and ease this year and how it's changed my life, to give you some evidence that you get to have more of it. And there's no really rhyme or there's no you don't have to earn it. So I'm going to give you some of the things that it's helped me achieve to offer you. I just want to say evidence that I don't think that we don't look at the evidence of what rest does for us, of how it can help us, how it can serve us. We avoid it because we think it's going to get in the way of our to-do lists. And that's just like so many other things in life. The irony is the opposite is actually true, that the more we rest, the more we actually are more present, can get more done with more energy. And that's what I have discovered. And I will just not do it any other way. Though my brain and body try to pull me into rushing, I take the reins back and I talk my body through, oh, we don't do this anymore, right? So what I want to offer first is I can work like nobody else. I'm the hardest worker in the room, right? And I've been like that for really since I was packing blueberries at 11, but I love to work, but for a long time it fueled my worth. And I don't want to make that a problem, and that's not what this is about, but it creates burnout, it fuels burnout, and it also fuels a disconnection from our life, right? So not only does it fuel burnout and actually what we want to produce, but it disconnects us from our present life. Like, we're robbed of the present moment because we're so concerned about getting the next thing done, or somebody's in my way, I got shit to do. And that makes us freak out on our kids and just not have patience in our life for where we are, who's in our way, because we're just so fueled by the pusher driver in us to produce, to get shit done. And then we collapse, okay? And then we make ourselves feel bad about that. We judge ourselves. And I just want to offer that we get to do it a different way. Now, it took me a lot to believe this. So I'm hoping that this creates evidence for you to even get curious on what that looks like for your own life. But I finally had enough coaches in my life show me, right? They embodied rest. They embodied secure, present rest, okay? Like true rest. And they were very successful. They were, some of my coaches make millions of dollars and work 3 days a week, right? So they rest a lot. And I kept seeing this reoccurring over and over in several of my coaches, to the point, and then it became so clear to me that it was so painful for me that I'm like, I just need to do it different. I need to do it different. The anxiety, the pusher driver in me no longer feels good. And I'm willing to do it different. And I had like four major coaches in my life just mirroring that life, like mirroring that, balanced rest. And I'm like, I know in my body that that's going to take me to the next level. Like, I knew with the work I did that the identity I'm stepping into, the person that I want to be, that creates actually everything I want to create, has a really great relationship with rest. And that made me be like, okay, I'm willing to do it different. And I created safety in my body for slowing down. I saw the value in it, watching my coaches who are my mentors, like they're some of my heroes. And I watched them do it and I saw what their thoughts are. And I started to practice it. And I was like, there was a few things that happened. It felt very irresponsible. It felt foreign in my body. It felt like I was doing something wrong, that I was irresponsible. Like that's how it felt. But I knew that that was like the trauma response. I knew that that was the pusher driver in me that was speaking. And I just wasn't going to let her run the show anymore. And so I made her feel safe. Like, we're going to do this. This is safe. This is why this is safe. And that we're going to try it a different way. Because, I mean, if you think about it, and I'm just going to use money as an example, but that's not the end all be all, but it's a really good example, is there are millionaires that have the same 24 hours as us, right? And how do I want to say this? Like, there are people, here's what I'm going to say. There are people, especially if we're working, right? If it's coming from our self-worth, is that we have to produce, we have to work, we have to earn. And whether that's earn love, earn money, earn attention, earn whatever. I'm going to use the example of money because it's clear, very clear. There are people that make $1 million an hour. There are people that make $100,000 a day. There are people that make a whole lot of money, right? So we don't have to work, put hours. We don't have to trade hours for dollars. And the pusher driver in me, coming from my relationship with money when I was very young, or relationship that my parents had or my dad had with money that landed on me, was that I have to like work myself to death in order to earn love, in order to earn worth, right? So I was like, I'm doing it different. That's what I decided. And I worked on this, it was like 3 months ago. It doesn't take long. And so I'm like, I don't have to work 24 hours a day to earn. Like, there's evidence of this in the world. So I started in my morning. Like, every morning I would start with pusher driver. I gotta go, 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 go. You can't sit still. And in the morning, I started to sit in the dark with my cup of coffee and just sit with myself. And I created safety in my body to do this because my body was like, go, 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 go. Okay. And I was like, nope, we're doing it different. I'm going to do a little experiment, see how we do here. And I just started to sit in gratitude, in quiet, in softness, in ease. But I had decided ahead of time, like, this is the right move, right? And the irresponsibility I felt in my body, I talked her down, right? I was like, we're good. This is what we're doing. And so I had already made the decision that this was the right move. And I just sat in quiet of the morning. I sat in gratitude. I sat in feeling enoughness. I sat in the peace. And I just sat in sufficiency and even surrender, right? And I just, like, there was meditations and I calmed my body. There was no anxiety. There was nothing. And I sat and I rested and I sat. And that's how I started my morning. And I know that that's how a lot of my coaches start their morning, right? And so start to mirror whoever is as far along where you want to be, right? What do they do that you don't do, right? And that's what I started to do. Like, I'll do anything my coaches do that aligns with me and where I want to be, okay? And so I was like, I'm just going to do this and see how it feels. And what I realized was, it felt amazing. It felt amazing. And what happens when you slow things down and you're not running from urgency to produce, to earn, this is what unfolded for me. And this is what unfolds for anyone who's living in ease and has a really beautiful relationship with rest and softness. Is I actually had more energy to get more done because I'm actually allowing my body to rest. I'm not fighting rest. I'm not sitting in rest and screaming at myself, right? I welcome rest, which means it's giving our body safety to rest so the body knows I can relax. So when the body knows it can relax, it actually rests, which is what you actually need. You're a busy person or busy people. And so when I do get up to do things, I'm more present when I do them because I know my body has rest and my body knows it's getting rest. So I actually get more done in less time because I am rested, my body is rested, and I feel sufficient. And because I've slowed it down, I have more access to higher level thinking and less distracting going on in my mind. So I have more creative ideas, more active, more connection to creative ideas. So what actually happens is I have more ideas for business, more ideas for personal life, because when you slow down, you can actually feel your intuition. Your intuition is speaking to you what to do next. Our higher level thinking, our future identity is talking to us. The universe is talking to us through our inner truth is speaking to us through our intuition and our higher level thinking. Like, think about your ideas. Money comes from ideas in our head. Where do the ideas come from? They come from, first of all, we hear them. And how do we hear them? We hear them by slowing down. And we hear them, they're coming from our higher self. Some people say our future self, download. Some people say the universe talks to us and guides us. Whatever it is, it's coming from somewhere, but we have to slow down to hear them and to connect with them and make a plan for them, right? We implement when we slow down. It's like we trust we can slow down and we can implement in a way that is not rushing. So, I mean, actually you could show up in a way that feels so aligned because you're not rushing. You're fully connected to what feels good to you in an implementation in business. And so there's less second guessing. Okay? And what my coaches have said to me and what I have found true is rest is how you get your creativity to build a business, to serve your clients. It's in the rest. You get higher level thinking. And that is what's been happening to me. The amount of creative downloads that have come to me for business because I've slowed it down, right? And because my nervous system understands that it's safe to rest, I feel more connected to the present moment or just slowing down in general, right? Rest and slowing down, they kind of go together. Ease, right? It gets to feel easy. I am more present in my body and in the moment with my family. Okay? I'm calmer. I have more clarity, which my family deserves. I deserve. I get one life. If I'm rushing through my life, it's like we're missing the point. Okay? And it took a lot for me to do this, but this is what I want to offer as the evidence of why slowing down is safe. Because we don't think slowing down is safe. And I get that. I really do. But when I fully rested without guilt for the first time ever, fully, without any buzzing in my body coming up, or understanding where the buzzing was coming from to be able to even create safety for that inside my body, I was like, holy crap, I'm set free. Like, I used to have a voice in my head that I should be doing something else. So I'd clean the bathroom, think I should be doing something else. I would be, even holiday, making cookies. There'd be this buzzing pusher driver. You should be doing something else. When I'd walk my dog, you should be doing something else. Like, that voice is gone. I get to freely do whatever I want and feel totally calm and present in my life and in my body. This all came from slowing down. This all came from believing that I get to build a life with rest and ease and slowness. And there's times where, yeah, I'm going to have to kick it up a notch, and I'm okay with that. But it's never going to come from fear and lack and not enoughness. It's going to come from excitement and fun for what I'm creating. Okay? And when we slow it down and are present with our thoughts and feeling aligned in our body and our truth, like, there's no burnout. Burnout doesn't happen. We're not running into exhaustion or from exhaustion, or like this, woe is me, I'm so tired. Right? We're taking really good care of ourselves and our body. And I also love that my daughter sees me start my morning like this. Instead of rushing, get out of my way, throw my gym clothes on and rush. I don't want her to see that. I want her to see that present moment, that meditation, that stillness, because that's it. That's a huge part of our life that can be, and it is a beautiful part of our life that we forget because we're running around with these cell phones in our pocket that are buzzing and attention and this and the, earbuds and the music and right? And it's just the quiet is where really our dreams are fulfilled and are born, and our ideas to get there and are born. And really, it's through that slowness that we will achieve them. Okay? And no, that doesn't mean we don't work hard. But when we show up and work hard, it's a different energy, because rest is what fuels that hard work. Right? I work hard. My mentors work very hard in those 3 days. So, I mean, some of them work more, right? But depending on what they have in their business, they'll work 5 days, 6 days in a row. But on average, it's about 3-4 days a week, making they have multi-million-dollar businesses. And I'm like, that's sustainable. That is sustainable. I don't want to dig myself into the ground, run myself into the ground, and I'm not even halfway to my goal. When I get to my goal, how am I going to feel? Like, I don't want to do it that way anymore. So what I wanted to offer is, you really get to rest. It's not earned. We have the right. It's actually a spiritual practice to rest, because it gives more of ourselves to our life. We are more available. We are more present. We are more patient. We are more calm. So we can show up different for our family when we have rested fully. We can't sit and decide we're resting, scroll and binge TikTok or binge Netflix at war in our body and our mind that we're resting, or just collapsing and numbing. That's not full rest. That's collapse. That is collapse. And I've done that too. Right? When I sit down to rest, I receive slowness. I receive rest. So I'll end with this. Receiving is very different than getting or having. Okay? I receive it. I feel it in my body. I feel my whole body relax. I feel the preciousness of the moment and the choices I'm making to relax the body that takes really good care of me. Okay? Or the slowness, the quietness of the moment, right? I'm receiving it into my ears, into my body as an appreciation practice, not more rushing, right? What we focus on expands. So I expand, especially I had a lot of trauma around receiving. So I've learned to receive like as a spiritual practice. I receive like it's a nobody's business. Like it is this big ceremony when I can think of it. because my body didn't feel safe receiving. I didn't feel safe receiving. And now I use receiving as a spiritual practice, and that is rest and softness and slowness, along with receiving money and gifts and hugs and compliments and all those things. Because I had someone the other day give me a compliment, and I almost made a joke about her, I almost made a joke like, oh, you must need your eyes checked or something, right? And I was like, no, just receive it. Just say thank you. Just say thank you. And I did. And it felt odd, but I was like, no, this is how receiving looks. This is healthy receiving, right? And so I do that with receiving rest. I do that with receiving or choosing stillness, choosing to slow it down, right? Because slowing it down to build what I want to build in my life, it's just more sustainable in balance, not gut-wrenching, anxious, rushing, checking off to-do lists only to have more to-do lists. And it's like a scorecard of who can get more done. I'm not playing that game no more. Because I realize what I'm building is really big. And I have to do it from a place of grounded, sustainable energy and effort. And I have to bring the universe into that, or my future self, or the higher level thinking. And I have to slow down to feel what's next. And so a huge part of this is trust and surrender, right? We don't rest fully because we don't trust. That's why we don't rest. That's why we don't sleep. That's why we wake up in the middle of the night with racing thoughts. That's why when we rest, we're at war in ourselves and we're numbing or tapping out in Netflix or, whatever, scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It's because it doesn't feel good to rest. And so we collapse and then we just numb, right? I know because I've done it, right? But resting, full rest is, there's got to be trust in there. And if we don't trust, and if we are like gripping in control, like my body wakes me up in the middle of the night, it still can. And I just am like, I remind myself that we're good. We're good. We let go. Surrender. Surrender has to happen in order to let go of control and feel safe. We have to surrender to what is and trust what's coming and trust us, right? We have to have self-trust too. We'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out. Okay. So I hope, I hope that this episode helps you see that you really do get to rest. And what does that look like in the holiday season? What does being fully present? I feel like last year I did a few episodes that are like this. One of them was being present. Being present. If we're rushing, we're not fully present. And I know that the pattern is rushing, so we forget to slow down. Then we beat ourselves up for not slowing down. Like, no, let's not do any of that. Let's just try to, when we remember, come back into present moment. And, for me, it always comes back to me. When I am not fully present, I'm not fully me. I'm not inside me. I'm not returned to me. I'm not in me, right? Presence is the return of you. Like I've said this multiple times, but that's like the method that I use inside my coaching container is the return of you. We return back to ourselves. When we're rushing, we're chasing safety outside of ourselves. When we come back home, it's because we're safe. We're good. We're good here. And we can do it a different way. And it all creates calm in my body. It creates a lightness in my body because I do feel safe in slowness, ease, feels safe, right? And so it all feels lighter. And when it feels lighter, you have more energy, you have more clearer thoughts, more clarity, more calm, more patience. Like it's a trickle down effect to so many benefits that I'm like, holy crap, I am so grateful that, because I guarantee if you go back and listen to that present moment, um, a year ago, I didn't do these things a year ago. Like, I'm a different human. I'm a different human. I did it all. I almost recorded a whole nother podcast for right now, but I bagged it and I just wanted to talk about softness, slowness, and rest and ease. But looking back in 2025, I was a different person, 0.5%, 1%, 2% every single day. Every single day, I was a different version of me. I shed so many identities last year. And I didn't know this. My coach told me this on our last call of the year, but it was the year of the snake, of the year of the shedding. I don't follow any of that stuff. I didn't know. Now I've looked into it because I'm like, oh, yep, that's me. I shed a million different identities in 2025. And there were times where I didn't think any of it was working because I'm a human being with a human brain, right? But part of that was shedding the hustle. That was huge. I shed hustle. And the result of it is I feel amazing. I feel amazing. And I still have dreams and goals and still want to work really hard and still feel like it's not happening and all those things. But knowing that I'm bringing rest with me where I'm going, I'm going to get there faster. And when I do get to wherever I want to go, whatever I'm building, whatever I want to build, it'll be sustainable when I get there. It'll be sustainable. And that is most important to me. Okay. I want a foundation, a really clean, strong foundation for what I'm building, because I don't want to lose it when I get there. I don't want to be unhappy when I get there. I want to be happy and well adjusted now and have fun getting there. Okay. And all that comes from this. So I just wanted to offer you permission to look at what rest looks like in your life and how to see it in a way that feels really good, and that we don't have to earn rest. We just get to rest at any time. Having to earn rest is a belief, and it is a painful belief. It is so painful because I had it for a really long time. I had it for most of my life. Yeah, mine really was from when I was about 23 years old and I got married, is when it really kicked in, that belief. And it's not the way anymore. I refuse. And when my body starts to pull me, when my brain starts to pull me in that pusher driver, move, I'm like, oh, wait, I'm returning. Let me return back to me. Let me return what's actually true. And I want you to come back to this podcast episode when you start to question why rest, when you start to question it and really look at the benefits that it offers. It actually gives us more energy when we rest. The irony in general. So I'm wishing everybody a wonderful holiday season, and rest, slowness, presence, gratitude, sufficiency, and the joy of life and joy of the season. And if you want to, if you do want to take this work deeper and you don't even know how to begin to rest and you want to desperately, you're hungry to do it different, well, that's where I can help you. I can help you do this work. And right now, if you contact me in real time, I have 4 spots open for coaching, and my calendar is in the show notes for Calendly for a free consult. So we'll talk more about how I can help you. I also want to offer that something really fun I'm doing this year is every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a live teaching on whatever the podcast was about. You can come, you can listen, you can raise your hand. You don't have to speak. There's no pressure, and it's every week and it's on Zoom. The link to register will be in the show notes. It starts the second week of January, where I will be doing live coachings every Thursday. And it's just teaching and practice on how to implement into your life in real time on like real issues in your life, real things. So you can come and listen, like I said, or raise your hand and get coached. And you register one time, and then you can come as much as you want. But there is a link to register. So that will be happening the beginning of January, and that will be every week. And I'm super excited for that. So if you have any questions, let me know. But we have one more episode before the end of the year. But that's it. You get to rest. You really do. I'm cheering you on, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.